Numbers 25. Moab seduces Israel. The Baal of Peor. Numbers 25 is one of the darkest chapters in the book. After all of God's provision, the manna, the water from the rock, the cloud leading them, Israel falls into blatant idolatry and sexual immorality with the Moabite women. They are seduced to worship Baal of Peor. God's anger burns. A plague breaks out. But at the height of the rebellion, one man acts with zeal for God's honor. Phinehas, the son of Eleazar. His action stops the plague, and God makes a covenant of peace with him. This chapter is a sobering reminder that sin has consequences, but also that zeal for God's holiness is powerful. Let us go through the chapter. While Israel was staying in Shittim, the men began to indulge in sexual immorality with Moabite women, who invited them to the sacrifices to their gods. The people ate the sacrificial meal and bowed down before these gods. So Israel yoked themselves to the Baal of Peor, and the Lord's anger burned against them. The Lord said to Moses, "Take all the leaders of these people, kill them, and expose them in broad daylight before the Lord, so that the Lord's fierce anger may turn away from Israel." So Moses said to Israel's judges, "Each of you must put to death those of your people who have yoked themselves to the Baal of Peor." Then an Israelite man brought into the camp a Midianite woman right before the eyes of Moses and the whole assembly of Israel, while they were weeping at the entrance to the tent of meeting. When Phinehas, son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saw this, he left the assembly, took a spear in his hand, and followed the Israelite into the tent. He drove the spear into both of them, right through the Israelite man and into the woman's stomach. Then the plague against the Israelites was stopped, but those who died in the plague numbered 24,000. The Lord said to Moses, "Phinehas, son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, has turned my anger away from the Israelites. Since he was as zealous for my honor among them as I am, I did not put an end to them in my zeal. Therefore, tell him I am making my covenant of peace with him. He and his descendants will have a covenant of a lasting priesthood, because he was zealous for the honor of his God and made atonement for the Israelites." The name of the Israelite who was killed with the Midianite woman was Zimri, son of Salu, the leader of a Simeonite family. And the name of the Midianite woman who was put to death was Cosbi, daughter of Zur, a tribal chief of a Midianite family. The Lord said to Moses, "Treat the Midianites as enemies and kill them. They treated you as enemies when they deceived you in the Peor incident involving their sister Cosbi, the daughter of a Midianite leader, the woman who was killed when the plague came as a result of that incident." Lessons and teachings. 1. Temptation often comes as an invitation, not an attack. The Moabite women invited them to the sacrifices of their gods. 25:2. The Moabites did not attack Israel with swords. They seduced them with food, sex, and worship. The enemy often does not come with violence, but with subtlety. The invitation to compromise is more dangerous than an open attack. For us, are you being invited to compromise? A seemingly harmless invitation can lead to bondage. Guard your heart. 2. Spiritual adultery is as serious as physical adultery. They yoked themselves to Baal of Peor. 25:3-5. God called Israel's idolatry yoking themselves to Baal. It was spiritual adultery. The people who were supposed to be God's bride prostituted themselves to a false god. For us, have you yoked yourself to anything other than God? Idols are not just statues. They are anything we love more than Him. 3. Public sin requires public consequence. He took the spear and followed the man into the tent. 25:8. Zimri brought the Midianite woman into his tent in plain sight of Moses and the weeping congregation. His sin was not hidden. It was defiant. Phinehas's public act of judgment was severe, but it reflected the seriousness of defiant rebellion. For us, do you treat public sin casually? The church must take sin seriously, especially when it is flaunted. 4. Zeal for God's honor can turn away judgment. Phinehas turned my anger away. 25:11. God was ready to destroy Israel, but one man's zeal for God's honor stopped the plague. Phinehas acted when no one else did. His courage and passion saved the nation. For us, will you stand for God's honor when others are silent? One person can make a difference. Lesson 5. God honors those who honor him, the covenant of peace. I am making my covenant of peace with him. 25:12. Phinehas's zeal was not without reward. God gave him a covenant of peace and a perpetual priesthood. God honors those who honor him. For us, when you stand for God, he stands with you. His reward may not be immediate, but it is sure.
Let's continue studying the book of Numbers. Subscribe, like, comment, and hit notification button for more videos, more Bible study, and more Bible knowledge. We got you.